So now that we're all using Claude, let me show you some cool things you can actually do with it. Loop Earplugs scaled to over 200 million in revenue by building a different landing page for every that product could serve. And what I realized is that this exact playbook that Loop used to scale from just a couple of million to over 9 figures in revenue, you can now run yourself on your own Shopify store using Claude Cowork to build the landing pages for you. And this whole setup, it takes under an hour to implement. So here's what I will show you. First of all, how to build your brand kit. Claude reads it every time it builds a page so everything stays on brand. Second of all, how to actually install the landing page skill inside of Claude Cowork. This skill is what turns your prompt into an actual landing page. And then lastly, how to run the system. The prompts to use, the files to give Claude, and how to go from a prompt to a finished landing page you can actually set live on your store. But to get started, you need to download Claude Cowork and be in either the Pro or the Max plan. And then you need to go down the description and follow the link to get the skills and the prompts I use to make the system work. Now that we have everything we need, let's hop over to Shopify and actually get the files we need to start building the brand kit. So inside of Shopify, we need to get a couple of things. The first thing we want to do is go to online store and then click the 3 buttons right here and download theme file. The second thing we want to do is actually go over to products and then select all the active products you have. And then when that is done, you will go up here and click export. And then you want to download all selected products as an CSV. And the last thing we need to do to be able to build the brand kit is to go over to a Shopify store and then take a screenshot of our homepage, a product page, and if you have any landing pages. And remember to take a screenshot of both the mobile and the desktop view of those pages. Now that we have everything we need to be able to build the brand kit, let's go take a look at what's inside the folder you downloaded earlier. First of all, in the folder, you're going to find a brand kit builder. This is the prompt Claude is going to use to actually build the brand kit. Then there's a prompt to start the system. This is the landing page prompt. Then we have the skill that Claude is going to use to actually be able to build the landing pages. And then lastly, you have a reference library of some of the best landing pages so Claude knows what a good landing page actually looks like. Now let's build the brand kit. The reason we want to build the brand kit is to make sure that when Claude builds our landing pages, they actually looks and feel like they come from our brand. To do this, we want to open the Claude instance, as you can see I've done here. Then we want to click on Cowork, and then inside of Cowork, we want to paste the brand building prompt. When you have pasted it in, go down here, and then you can actually see there's a list of all the files we need to attach. So we're going to attach those. These are all the files we downloaded earlier. So you can see here, I attached the screenshots of my homepage and my product page, both the desktop and mobile version. Then I've added a zip file with my custom font. You don't need to do this. I'm just doing it because it will look a little better. Then I, of course, added all my products and the theme zip file we downloaded earlier. When that is done, you also want to add the URL to your storefront. And then down here, you need to pick an industry that fits you the best. So in my case, that would be drink. So I'm going to delete this and then write drink. Before we actually send this prompt, we want to pick a project or work in a project folder. So create a folder on your computer and then select it here. I'm going to select it right here. The reason we want to do this is just to make sure that we know where Claude is building, because Cowork do have access to a computer. Also remember, before you send it, click Opus 4.7 and then adaptive thinking. When all that is done, you are now ready to actually build your brand kit. This can take a couple of minutes since it's quite a bit of information it has to go through. But as soon as it's done, let's go back and check what it's actually built. As you can see on the screen right here, Claude is actually now done building all the files for the brand kit. But before we take a look at the individual files, let's quickly take a look at what Claude did. So if you scroll to the top, what you can see here is that Claude first confirmed that it got all the right files. Then it asked me a couple of questions because I didn't add any screenshots of a landing page. So it asked me if it should proceed without. And then of course it wanted to confirm that the URL for the storefront and the industry I picked is correct. After that, it will then go in and look at all the data we gave it and then proceed to go through an 8-phase process where it starts building the files. When it's done, you should have something that looks like this. So it builds a design token file, of course a voice file so it knows how to sound like you. then a file including all your products, a reference file, and then the most important file, which is a HTML file, as you can see right here. This file is a components file where it actually has all the components from your website. So it has your brand colors, your fonts and type scales, how your buttons look, how your callouts, badges, and all this stuff looks, product cards, everything. Before you move on to start building your landing page, it's very, very important that you spend a little bit of time on this step to confirm that every file is correct and that everything is the way you want it to. The more time you spend on fine-tuning this to make it as close as perfect as possible, the better your landing page is going to look in the end, and the less time you're going to spend on fine-tuning the end result. Now that you're done building your brand kit, we can now install the landing page builder skill inside of Claude Cowork. The way we're going to install it is that you're going to click on Customize on the left menu here. Then you're going to click Skills, click on the plus, create a skill, and then you're going to select Upload a skill. Then you can drag in the skill you downloaded from the description earlier. And when you've done that, it should look something like this, where you now have a skill called Shopify Landing Page Builder. Make sure that it's turned on over here, and then we can go back and actually start building our first landing page. To build the landing page, you want to paste in the build a landing page prompt directly into Claude, as you can see I've done on the screen here. The prompt is designed in a way where it actually tells you exactly what you need to add for it to be able to build the landing page. So in this case, we're just going to delete this part because we already know. Then we're going to scroll down to here, so you can see that for this prompt to work, it needs to have access to your brand kit, the landing page reference files, and then of course you need the Shopify skill installed. Since we already installed the skill and we created the brand kit inside of this folder, what we just need to do is add the landing page references into the same folder as where our brand kit is. Then we're going to scroll just a bit more down, and you can see this section here, what I want you to build. This is where you paste in the prompt of what you want the system to build for you. So we're going to delete this whole section right here. Just going to delete it. And then I've already prepared a prompt, so I'm going to paste that in. So my prompt is, I want to create a landing page that focuses on the perfect homemade iced tea. The landing page should be in English. The page should promote these 4 products. And then I pasted in the URL for the product pages of those products. It should promote the products separately, but also focus on a summer bundle where you can buy all 4 as a bundle. Here are some lifestyle images. Then I've added in the image I want as a hero image. And as you can see here, I don't add images to the chat. I copy the image URL from Shopify. So I've pre-uploaded the images to Shopify, and then I add them in here. Then I've added in the product images just so it has more to work from. If we scroll down to the bottom here, you can see there's a section called a few rules. This is rules that Claude will follow to make sure that it follows the system the way we want it to. And this is the most important part, is that it does not one-shot the full landing page. It will create it section by section. The reason this is super important is because when it creates it section by section, we can fine-tune it as we go without hitting the context limit and actually get a pixel perfect landing page in almost no time. So I'm gonna click enter here, and then as soon as it starts working through it, I'm gonna show you how it all works. So as you can see on the screen here, Claude is now done with the first section. And before we take a look at it, I just want to go back to the top real quick just to show you how it did it. So when we go to the top here, the first thing you can see is that it checks that it has access to everything. Then it asked me a couple of clarifying questions that it needed to be able to build the page the way we wanted to. When it's done that, it then fetches all the different landing pages from the landing page reference file. I then tell it what landing page I like the most, and it also asked me another clarifying question, and I asked how I want to handle the bundle discounting, for example. It then goes and builds a section plan. So this is the layout of the landing page. It proposes a way to do it, and then it gave me a few notes to flag before I start building. So first of all, the way I wanted to handle my bundles, I need to give it variations IDs. So I did that, and then I said it's all approved. And then it started building the first section. On the screen, you can actually see the exact hero section it built. It used the image I asked it to use. You can see that it followed our brand guidelines with the bundles and colors. It has a small thing up here that I wanted to remove. So what we're going to do now is, before we go on to the next section, we're actually going to go back into Claude, and then we're going to fine tune this section so it is perfect before we move on. To give it feedback, it's always a good idea to take a screenshot of the specific thing you're talking about and then out what you wanted to change. So in my case, I asked it to remove this part right here at the top of the page, and then I'm going to send this. When it's going through this, it's going to give you back this section with the improvements you just asked for, and then you can keep in that loop fine-tuning the landing page until it is exactly the way you want it to. You can see that right now it's building it, so as soon as it's done, let's take a look and see how it fixed it. Claude is now done fixing all the things we asked for, so it removed the text on the top. Before we go back into Claude and improve this section, we just quickly want to inspect and see the mobile version. Everything looks good here. So this section is now approved and we can move on to the next section. And that is the full process you want to follow for the whole landing page in each section. You want to get Claude to build it. You're then going to go review it to make sure that everything is pixel perfect. When it is, you're going to approve it and Claude is going to move on to the next section until it has built every single section of the landing page. And as you can see here, Claude is now completely done creating the landing page and we are now ready to upload it to Shopify. The way you upload it to Shopify is that you want to go to the folder where you have your brand kit and your landing page references. Here you can see Claude has created an output folder. Inside of this, you can actually find another folder with the name of your landing page. And then you can see that Claude has created a liquid file for each section of the landing page. So let's head over to Shopify and let me show you how you can actually add these to Shopify to get your landing page live. Inside of Shopify, you want to go to Online Store and then you want to click over here where it says Edit Theme. When you're inside the theme editor, you're going to click where it says Home on the top here, and then you're going to go down here to where it says Pages. You're then going to scroll down and create a template, or I've already done this, so I'm just going to click Landing Page. Then you're going to go over here to where it says Template and you're going to click Add Section. We now want to add in the custom liquid we created, so we're going to search for custom liquid. Then I'm going to rename this to Hero, and then I'm going to paste in the custom liquid for my Hero section. Now that I have that section, I'm going to repeat that for every section that Claude created until every section has been added to Shopify. Now that I've added the custom code for each section, I can then click up here, click Save, and then as soon as it's saved, I can click View to see the landing page is now live on the store. And to check that everything is working, we can go down here and click Add Bundle to Cart, and we can see that it instantly adds all the products to cart, and I can then set up the discount code in the backend like I planned to do. And that is how you can get Claude Cowork to build you custom landing pages for your Shopify store. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and leave a comment down below and tell me what you would like to see next.